Chinese actor Wang Xing's sudden disappearance pursuing a role abroad shocked the entertainment industry as well as the entirety of China. As details surfaced, it became clear this wasn't just a missing person case, it was part of something much bigger. Wang Xing, who also goes by Xing, has been chasing his acting dreams for years. He studied at the Shanghai University Film Academy and has had minor roles here and there, like a part in IP Man back in 2015, a role in Fox Spirit Matchmaker Red Moon Pact, and more recently The Tale of Rose in 2024. But despite his efforts, he hadn't quite found his big break. So when a friend suggested he join a WeChat group called Sunan Professional Actors Group last December 24th, he didn't hesitate as it seemed like just another chance to find work. Not long after joining, someone with the username GMMGrammy16 posted about a casting call. Xing followed up, hoping it could lead to something promising. The person behind the message introduced himself as Yan Shiliu, claiming to be a casting coordinator from GMM a big-name entertainment company in Thailand. Xing was asked to submit an audition tape with help from his girlfriend Jia. He filmed it on December 26th, and the next day, he was told he got the part. But soon, things started to feel off. The details about the shoot didn't quite add up, and he began to question whether it was legitimate. He initially backed out, not wanting to take any risks. According to Wang's girlfriend, Yan got angry, throwing out curses and pressuring him to sort out his schedule right away, saying no one else could fill in last minute, especially someone who spoke English. As someone who had spent years trying to get noticed, Wang didn't want to let the chance slip away, so he eventually said yes. When they told him he'd need to fly to Thailand for the shoot, he didn't think twice. He had traveled before there for filming, and at that point, he was all in. On January 2nd, Wang boarded a flight from Shanghai to Bangkok, and his friend Dang happened to be on the same flight. They landed in Thailand around 2 a.m. and went their separate ways. Dang would later reveal that he too had received a suspicious offer to work in Thailand but had turned it down after noticing odd clauses in the contract. Not long after landing, a silver Toyota Altis showed up to pick Wang up. He was in that car for nearly 7 hours until they reached Mae Sot district, specifically Mae Sot Tak Road. There, at a macro store, he was transferred into another vehicle, a silver Toyota Hilux Revo with a license plate registered in Chachoengsao. Throughout the trip, he kept Jia in the loop. He sent her his live location, photos of the vehicles, and even landmarks he passed, so everything still seemed okay. Everything seemed fine until late morning. Then, out of nowhere, Jia lost all contact with Xing. The last GPS ping placed him near the Thai-Myanmar border, and after that, nothing. No messages, no updates. He just vanished. Panic set in quickly as that region, especially Mae Sot, has a bad reputation, known for being a hotspot for illegal activity. Scam rings, trafficking operations, cybercrime hubs, even arms and substance smuggling. With that in mind, Jia didn't waste time. She rushed to the Shanghai police, terrified something had gone seriously wrong. But their hands were tied as they told her there wasn't much they could do since he had gone missing in another country. Jia didn't give up. She reached out to the Chinese embassy in Thailand and the consulate general in Chiang Mai. But again, more roadblocks. Officials told her that unless they confirmed Xing was still in Thailand and a case was officially filed there, they couldn't step in. So she tried contacting Thai authorities directly, but couldn't get through. Wang's disappearance set off a chain of dead ends. His brother rushed to a couple of police stations in Shanghai, hoping to push things forward, but each one gave the same response. Nothing could be done until higher authorities gave the green light, and the approval could take weeks. While the family tried to get answers in China, the embassy and consulate offered little help. Their advice to Jia was blunt, telling her to go to Mae Sot herself and report it directly to the Thai police. Exhausted and getting nowhere, Jia was done waiting. With no one officially stepping in, she took the search online, sharing what she knew and asking strangers to help her find him. She made a post on Weibo on January 5th explaining the situation, writing, "We have no choice but to borrow the power of the internet to amplify our voices." The story exploded online and quickly caught fire within the Chinese film world. Big names started speaking up, with Gongjun, Ma Tianyu, Shu Qi, and Dong Chengpeng, among many others, all sharing posts in support. As more celebrities joined in, the phrase actor Xing missing at the Thai-Myanmar border began trending on Weibo. But the shock didn't stop there. Other actors began stepping forward with their own stories, some eerily similar. Fan Hu was one of them, explaining that he would nearly fallen into the same trap trap because people pretending to be part of a production team sounded legit, too legit. Fan Hu had already landed in Bangkok and settled into his hotel when things started to feel off. The details didn't quite line up, and something about the entire setup felt too smooth, too rehearsed. He decided to double check by directly DMing the director tied to the job, and just like that, the truth came out. It was a scam. Around the same time, another actor by the name of Xu Daiju also spoke up. He'd narrowly avoided falling into the same trap and believed that, based on what he'd heard and experienced, Wang might have been taken across the border to Mayawati. With support flooding in from social media, Jia took her case to the Chinese embassy in Thailand and the local police. As a result, an official investigation was launched. The very same day, Channel 7 in Thailand announced the news everyone had been hoping for. Wang Xing had been found, but something didn't sit right. The police in Tak province made a statement that seemed off, claiming the actor had gone to Myanmar willingly, with no signs of kidnapping or coercion. The following day, Wang was handed over at the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge. The deputy commander of the Karen National Army said Wang had told him he wasn't there for a film shoot, but to visit relatives. However, his physical condition told a different story. His head was shaved, he'd lost weight, and red marks were visible on his legs. After crossing back into Thailand, Wang Xing was interviewed by authorities and shared the terrifying details of his abduction. He shared that he had been taken by a telecommunications fraud group to a shady area known as Apollo Park. As revealed, the Toyota truck that picked him up at the supermarket was owned by Ravi, a Thai citizen. Ravi explained that a soldier from the Karen militia had instructed him to collect Wang from the supermarket in Mae Sot. At first, Wang didn't find it suspicious, as he assumed they were just passing through Thailand on their way to a third country for a film shoot, not realizing that he had already crossed into Myanmar. It wasn't until armed men forcibly moved him to another vehicle that it all started to sink in. He soon found himself in a remote area, surrounded by nothing but a bleak, rundown environment. By then, he understood what had happened, but knew he was in no position to fight back. The nightmare truly began when Wang Xing was made to shave his head, just like everyone else held there. The red marks on his legs remain unexplained, though he insisted he hadn't been violently harmed. After being taken to a building, he discovered he wasn't alone. There were about 10 other Chinese people already there, all new captives. This was where the abductees were gathered. From there, Wang was moved to a second building, a large training center where he found at least 50 other Chinese prisoners. Here, his captors forced him to endure fraud training for 2 to 3 days. The training mainly focused on text scams, and he was also made to practice typing. Terrified, Wang Xing feared being involved in scamming his own people. He also learned of a third building where people from all over the world were held and forced to work illegally. Just days after being taken, Wang Xing was freed. The breakthrough came on January 8th when Myanmar news outlets reported that the man running the trafficking ring had been caught near the Thai border. He went by the name Golden Tiger, but was also known as Director Yu. Originally from Guangdong, he was behind the largest labor trafficking operation in the region and had several companies in China. Jin Khan, one of his underlings and the person who directly abducted Wang, was arrested too. After Wang Xing was rescued and the perpetrators were mostly arrested, attention quickly shifted to the people who had brought him and others into this situation. One of them was Yan Shiliu, whose real name is Yan Wenlei. He wasn't the only one under scrutiny. Another recruiter, Chong Ming Tang, also known as Yang Zechi, had been involved in bringing actors to Thailand too. Both had ties to the entertainment world and had worked behind the scenes on production crews. They had shared casting calls and project graphics in group chats, claiming to be casting directors or actor coordinators, but it wasn't clear if the materials they posted were real or if they were just being used by outside organizations. Yan later insisted his WeChat account had been hacked and denied having anything to do with the trafficking scheme. Wang Xing's disappearance sent shockwaves not just through China's entertainment circles, but among everyday people too. As the story gained traction, it triggered growing fear about safety in Thailand, especially for Chinese travelers. Some travelers backed out of trips they'd already booked, worried that they could be next. The ripple effects didn't stop there. Eason Chan, a well-known singer from Hong Kong, canceled his Bangkok concert that was scheduled for February 22nd, citing safety concerns sparked by the incident. Around the same time, rumors spread online about scam park workers plotting to pose as concert goers to lure fans into trafficking traps. Some posts even mentioned plans to send fake drivers to pick people up, so it's no wonder that the whole event got canceled. In the end, Wang Xing's case case ended up shining a harsh light on the larger web of human trafficking and fraud operations in the region, with families of victims rallying for help. So far, a list of over 1,500 possible victims has been compiled, each name carrying its own unanswered story. It exposed how easily people, especially those in vulnerable industries like entertainment, can be targeted and trapped by well-organized trafficking networks that operate under the guise of legitimate work. Wang Xing's story not only highlighted the loopholes in cross-border safety and recruitment, but also reminded the public how quickly a promising career move can turn into a life-threatening situation when the wrong people are involved.